Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Miosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators Today. Today, we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Hannah Tell.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here. I'm very excited to talk to you. I love opening up the questions, and I love going back to the beginning because I say, I feel like the beginning when we were kids, the things that we do, our little habits kind of almost chart our trajectory where we're going to be heading in life, and those little habits come back. They're a big part of our lives. So tell me a little bit about your childhood, and how did you kind of get into music and doing the things that you're doing now?
Yeah, well, I grew up in North Carolina in a kind of a small town called Shelby. It's in the sort of the foothill region of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And I was really into theater as a child. And my dad was very into music. And he had a very extensive record collection. And he would just sit in our living room with the door shut and have his records playing really, really loudly and just sit there and do nothing. And I was always so astounded by that. I was like, what is he doing? Because I really admired my father. And so he also started playing. He drove me to school in the mornings, and that was kind of like my learning session about music because he would play me all of this amazing music from the 70s and the 60s and the 80s as well. And I was just blown away by like his knowledge about the different instruments and what was making what sound. And it was just very fascinating to me. So it wasn't surprising to me when I got involved in making music when I got a little older.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love that. So, because, when I was a kid, I always, I didn't know what I wanted to be until like one day I watched the Alfred Hitchcock series, and I was like, I want to do that. Whatever that is, I want to be a filmmaker. And that's like, it was that something that it just was, I never stopped after that. So I'm curious, was there a particular song that kind of was like, I don't know, it was like, I really want to give this a try, or someone that was like inspired you that you saw?
Yes. Um, well, my first real like exposure to someone my own age playing an instrument was when I was in middle school on a church retreat.
Nice.
And I guess like my peers had a guitar and they were singing and playing Beatles songs. And those songs are so like early Beatles songs, and those songs really lend themselves to sing-alongs in a fun and powerful way. And I was just like, oh my God, like that, seeing it, there was this guy playing guitar and leading the group in a sing-along. And to this day, I want to be able to do that. I've not been able to do that, but but yeah, I was just really struck by that. So I got really into the Beatles, and I wanted to learn guitar. So my parents got me a really little cheap little classical guitar out of the Sears catalog, and
Nice.
I still have it. And I took some lessons, and I learned how to play Blackbird, like a very rudimentary version of Blackbird by the Beatles. So
Nice.
I would say that that's kind of like what took things off for me.
I love that. That's beautiful. So
Thank you.
then, so let's talk a little bit about your your EP. Your I think this is the third EP or LP. Is that what how you say it? I'm not really familiar with the music world, but
Oh, for sure. Yeah. This is actually an LP. Um,
LP. That's right.
yeah, it's a full-length record. It's my third record that I've put out, and
Nice.
I'm really excited about just putting out as much music as I can.
Yeah.
I find it very helpful for processing my feelings. So
So walking up to tomorrow,
waking
um, waking
tomorrow.
up, sorry, okay, waking up to tomorrow. Um, Tell me a little bit about the process of making that and, you know, why that title. I'm very curious.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of a bookend to my last record, which was called Walking Away from the Dream.
Mm,
And that was about walking away from dreams that I felt no longer served me or had no place in my life. And it was very painful and sad to do that. But it was also, um, something that I felt like I had to do. And then this next record, Waking Up to Tomorrow, is about how we always put so much pressure on ourselves, like, oh, tomorrow's coming, the future's coming, the future's coming. And then one day you wake up and it is tomorrow.
yeah.
Um, so for me, waking up to tomorrow was like a realization that my dreams don't have to die just because I'm getting older or just because society deems that it's time for me to settle down and have a family or something. My dreams can continue on in whatever way I want. So my waking up to tomorrow was like a hopeful realization that my dreams have always been within me, will always be within me, and can be reawakened at any moment for like a fresh start.
Absolutely. And I love that because you're absolutely right. That I think that's something that I think I resonated with too, the things of like, oh, I'm getting older. Society says you have to settle down and have a family. I don't have any, I'm not settled down, nothing like that. But you see your friends around you, everyone's getting married with babies. You're like, wait a minute, am I doing the right thing? I'm on the right track. But and you're right, because it doesn't mean your dreams are invalid. It doesn't mean that, anything. It's like we're always forever changing. At least I believe that. And so just film doesn't mean because something happened or is not happening, I guess, fast enough or whatever. It doesn't,
Yeah.
you could just redirect it. Like there's other avenues that's in the creative world, right? Like, so yeah, I completely understand that.
Thank you. Cool.
No, I love that. I love that. So how involved are you when it comes to making music? So you're writing it? Are you in the studio with the producer? Are you telling them like, I like this, you know?
Definitely. Well,
Nice.
I always start with making a demo myself,
Okay.
just a pretty simple demo where I add in guitar and maybe like a very simple drum beat electronically, and then some synth sounds, just to
Okay.
kind of get um, creating a world for each song is really important to me. So I kind of want to give my producer a song that's a little bit more fully formed, like the demo is a little bit more fully formed, so that they know the tone and the mood, because
Yeah.
that's so important to me, production wise. Luckily, my producer is very supportive of me making lots and lots of changes. Just because I don't usually need to make changes. He's amazing with what he does, but I just get new ideas and I want to add new little flourishes on until it's just completely the most expansive version of itself it can be. So I'd say I'm pretty heavily involved. I like to be there
I
through
love
the whole
that.
process. Um, I used to sit in on mixing,
Okay.
but I don't do that anymore because I get annoying. Um,
I love
I don't,
it.
yeah, I don't understand the process of mixing that well, and if I start listening to things over and over and over again in a really minute and highly like critical way, I'll start going crazy, and I'll be like, "We need to re-record this. We need to re-record." Like, no, Hannah, get out. So,
I love it. No, I think that's really, really cool. W- I love the sound too. When I listened to it, it was very, almost like magical and like haunting, but in like the good way. Like it kind of like, um, hypnotic in a way as well. I would even go that far to say, but in like the best way possible. It's very Yeah, it was it's so how would you describe your sound? And because I find that very fascinating. I really love your voice. It's very nice. There is no limit to evil. It has no regard for people. Strange cases of men and women accused of murder and missing people. Each episode has a different motivation for murder, such as vengeance against a cheating husband or lover, a significant insurance payoff, or a termination of an abusive relationship. Evil can be found anywhere. Welcome to It's Evil, Real Atlanta Cases. Streaming on all podcast platforms.
Thank you. Well, the words you just used are all words that I strive for, especially, hypnotic when I'm trying to create like the essence of a record. I want it to be intoxicating,
Yeah.
if possible. I want it to be really evocative and like if you close your eyes to kind of the music to kind of take you somewhere and make you feel like, you've been transported, or like I also like a little bit of element of escapism in my music. I feel like I use making music as an escape. So
Yeah.
I hope that it kind of translates through to the listener. Um, and yeah, I get so much joy out of making it. So it thrills me when I hear that someone is like affected by it in a way that makes them feel relaxed.
Yes, that's literally I literally felt that way. And like it's and like you could just put it on in the background and just kind of almost in a go into like a meditative state in a way. I literally played it on like these speakers in the house and I was just like, wow. Like you just kind of fall away and just like really, I don't know. So thank you. You have like amazing gift. Not many people can do that. I feel like that takes a lot of, I don't know, introspective, like, and just, just looking deep within. Like, I don't know. Do you feel that way? Does I to just to it's that's definitely a gift to be able to take someone somewhere.
Well, thank you so much for having that feeling. I think that it's definitely a gift to be introspective. I think that for me, I spend a lot of time like lost in thought and lost in daydreams and just trying to sleep because I like to sleep because I dream when I'm asleep, and
Mm,
like really important things happen in my sleep. So, uh, yeah, I feel like it is a gift. I feel like sometimes it's a curse because I'm not always able to be the most social
mm.
person. Or like if I go to a party or something and start trying to have a conversation with someone, I'm not the best at small talk.
I see.
I'll just start getting into like heavy things right away. And so some people are like, "Oh Lord, here comes Hannah. She's really intense." And I'm just like, "Hannah." So it's a blessing and a curse, but for writing music, definitely a blessing.
Definitely, definitely. And I was going to ask you because I read somewhere that it says that, you know, um, you are bipolar, and if you don't mind just talking about that, and just ADHD, and I'm just curious, for the people that don't really know about what that all means, could you explain that to us?
Yeah, it's something I've been dealing with since I was a child. It wasn't diagnosed until I was 17,
Mm.
and I didn't really understand or believe that I was when I was diagnosed. It's such a difficult, nebulous situation when you're
Mm.
diagnosing mental illness. Yeah, it's like hard to know what the right thing to do is, and so I went had to deal with trying a lot of different medications, and
Mm.
none of them worked.
Wow.
And there were side effects with each one of them, physical side effects, some of them debilitating. And so many people who suffer with depression, anxiety, bipolar, OCD, whatever mental illness you have, you're going to have this horrible period of a trial and error guinea pig phase of figuring out what is going to work for you, if anything is even going to work
Yeah.
for you. And it's just really hard. And I didn't find the right medication until I was 30 years old.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I just kind of, struggled and, made my way through my 20s, and it was hard, and I, yeah, I went through periods where I didn't take any medication, and then some periods where I took a lot, and it was not, it wasn't right. It wasn't the right thing. And when I did get the right thing, I knew it was the right thing because I was able to go back to college and get a degree, and that was
Wow.
something that really mattered to me. And in my 20s, I had gotten into USC and had to drop out because I couldn't manage my symptoms and school, and it was just too much for me.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
so I was able to go back to USC at 30, get a degree, graduate, and that was like huge for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's incredible that you've conquered that in spite of all the things that you were going through. I feel like that that takes bravery and that's amazing. I mean, wow. That's great. How do you, creatively, balance that with music? Like does it affect it sometimes?
Yes, yes. It affects it in both really positive ways and kind of ways that sort of hinder it.
Yeah.
Um, I think that my creativity is directly tied to what I experience as someone who has bipolar disorder.
I
And
see.
I go through periods where I'm highly productive and I don't need much sleep and I have all these ideas, and um, I churn out a lot of creative output during those periods. And then I have other periods where I don't want to be seen and I'm
Mm,
embarrassed to exist. And I feel like I'm not, like, it's not okay for me to take up space or something. And in those times, I hide away and I don't really share anything, but I may produce some artistic output. But um, most of the time, I'm just kind of sleeping or,
yeah.
watching trashy reality TV.
Reality
Just
TV, love
like,
it.
yeah, just doing whatever I can to keep up with my responsibilities during those times. It's just so hard just to do like the daily, to keep up with my job and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah, wow. I thank you for sharing that. And I mean, the fact that you've made such a body of work is just that's impressive. That's amazing.
Thank you so
So
much.
congrats to you and all that. Um, I have a fun question. So I'd like
Sure.
to ask every artist this, and anyone actually. Um, if you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh gosh. Oh, George Harrison from the Beatles.
Nice. Oh, that's a good one. Hands down. Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Um, in a mix between him and Jackson Brown, who I have on my shirt.
Hey.
Uh, I would choose George Harrison because he is able to meld Western sound with Eastern sound so seamlessly and in a way that really, I think, spreads world peace.
Yeah.
And I really want to be involving more world music aspects into my sound in terms of
Ah,
instruments and the types of composition that I'm doing. I love that Eastern influence. And then I would choose Jackson Brown because he's just such an incredible songwriter, and the longevity of his career is astounding. He had his first hit at 16, and he is just absolutely amazing. I just saw him live last month, and it
nice.
changed my life. So I'd love to be managed by both of them.
That's a great one. I love that answer.
Love that question.
Thank you. I think everybody has been feeling this kind of this whole, with COVID that came and all this uncertainty, everyone's kind of locked up in the house, and then that goes away, and then there's SAG, there's all these movements, there's all these things happening. I feel like the world is really hurting. Um, what kind of keeps you motivated in these times that, I feel like we all kind of get affected by a lot of these things. How do you, I don't know, rise above it?
Well, I don't always rise above it.
Yeah.
Sure, everybody gets like inundated and just like frustrated because like what do you even do? Like who do you send money to? Because where is your money even going?
Right.
And
Exactly.
like what does it even mean? And so it's just very frustrating. But for me, I have two things that keep me going through every high and low in my life and through any circumstance that may be happening externally in the world. And that is my faith in God
Love it.
and then also my love for animals. Animals transcend politics. Everywhere that there is suffering and pain and hardship and war, there are suffering animals.
Yeah.
And they don't have a language. They don't have a political affiliation. They don't belong to a country or a state, and they need help. And if everyone can just like rally around that and the environment, I feel like um, maybe that could be a positive thing in a way to kind of bring people together. And but yeah, my faith, like I pray constantly.
Love
Uh,
that.
that's like the only way I've gotten through anything and everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, same. I love that. That's great. Yeah, and it's interesting because I feel like, I remember like growing up, church, going to church and then here, we have to pray before we go to, I went to private school. So a lot of it, I was very, kind of, I guess, like kind of kept away until I got into public school. I was like, whoa, what a new world this is. This is what life is. Okay. So, you just kind of go away from God and then somehow it finds you again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it found me and I was just like, ah, there's that constant, that foundation that I've been missing for so long. And so I totally agree with you. Uh, you have that that constant or just being connected to the source. I always call God source,
Love
is
that.
is everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, love that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm curious, what do you want people to walk away? Like as far as like when you well, at least for this song, what do you want people to walk away with? Like the message that you want people to get?
Well, I would just want people to remain open-minded towards themselves. Um, I think it's really important to remain open-minded towards updating your opinions and beliefs in
Yeah.
terms of the world, but also I think that it's even more important to remain open to changing your mind about yourself. And we go through so many seasons and so many chapters. And just, if you have something that you love to do that makes you feel good and um, alive, like don't lose that. And don't feel like, you have to stop doing that just because someone around you or the world's values don't support it. I just feel like it's really important to do what makes you feel um, fulfilled.
Do you feel like it's tough in the music industry though? Like as far as like, because there's new music, there's new artists every day.
Yeah.
Putting your music out. Do you feel like the music industry as a whole is in favor of artists? Because I feel like the music nowadays, it's overall, it's different, So it's different.
Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean. Like on the one hand, it's amazing that everyone has the opportunity to express themselves through sound, because you can record from your phone,
Yeah.
and then upload it to Spotify if you want. And I think a lot of people have a problem with that. But I think that I think that if it feels good to you to get your voice out and to put it on Spotify, I go for it, I think everybody has their own unique sound, whether they feel like a musician or not. And I think that it's therapeutic and good for you to sing and make noise
Yeah.
and kind of get that out of yourself, and express the emotion within in like a guttural or pretty way, whatever feels like needs to come out. But on the other hand, yes, the industry is inundated with music, and that's where I think playing live comes in. Um,
Ah,
you set yourself apart by, playing live and creating a following in your community of, other musicians that show up to support each other at shows, and then also, friends and family that come out to support. And um, also I think you set yourself apart through like creating content that goes along with your music, and like everybody can be a director, a music video director now, like with your phone. And I've been doing a little bit of that, and it's so
Oh,
yeah, I just like make little 15-second video clips for my songs, and um, yeah, I have a great time doing that. So I think that there's ways to like make it work.
yeah, no, that's beautiful. I love that you're doing that. Directing. Also saw that you voiced over a character, one of the main characters in this game, that you've won an award for. I've heard of this game, but I've never played it. I used to be really big into games. How did that job, come up? How did you get it?
Yeah, well, I've been auditioning and acting since I was a little girl. And when I moved out to LA at 18, and when I got out here, I started trying to, get jobs. And then later on in my 20s, I did some performance capture work for this publisher, video game publisher called Square Enix. And they have called me back since then to kind of audition for other things, and that's how I got the part in Life is Strange. And the game actually went on to win a BAFTA award for the writing, but I didn't win an award. But it's okay. It was enough of an award just to like get to be in there, because the fans of that game were really into the soundtrack of the game, and the music that I make is a little bit in the same world as the game's soundtrack. So I kind of was really blessed with a bit of a built-in fan base for my music when I started putting stuff out, because they had a similar taste. So it worked out really, really well for me.
Nice. Very, very cool. That's awesome. So you do it all. You do everything. You are a jack of all trades.
Just in seasons, just like for a few months I'll do this, and then I'll stop doing that and do something for a few months. And I can't do everything all at once or anything.
I don't know, maybe. No, it's cool though. It's really, really cool. I love asking this question, and there's no wrong answer. But the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
I would choose money. And the reason why I would choose money is because money has a lot of power, and you can do a lot of amazing things with money for other people. And you can create your own infrastructure, and respect is amazing as well. And power is not really my thing. But money, I would like to be a steward of a large amount of money, because I feel like I could give it away to, animal charities,
Yeah.
charities that I know are like on the in out, taking care of animals getting hit by cars, and, just stuff that could really make a difference. And also like mental health charities and music charities. There's so much that can be done with money, so that I would choose that.
I love that. It's funny. A lot of people don't choose money. They usually go with the respect. And I think you're absolutely right. It does take money to make anything happen in this, structure that we're living in this world, but it can do a lot, and if it's in the right person's hands, it's like, of course, you can change anything. So I really like that answer. That's a good answer.
Cool.
Um, I love asking this question because a lot of listeners like to they write me and they're like, thank you so that their favorite part is hearing from the artist, the person that I'm talking to, giving them a bit of advice. So my question to you would be, is for anyone that's listening, could be little boy, little girl, anyone, um, what would you say to them? They're not sure how to, if they want to get in this business, but they want to try it, but they're scared, they're nervous. What advice would you give to that person?
Is this a music business?
Yeah, music, arts, creative, whichever, I guess entertainment as a whole.
Yeah, okay. I would say that the most beneficial thing for me has been to build a community around myself of other artists. If you're in a small town, this can be problematic. And so I would suggest maybe moving to a bigger town that has a community of artistic people who are like-minded. The more that you get up, dress up, and show up, and go out to shows, go to art gallery openings, go to plays, go to movie screenings, go to obviously concerts, as many as you can always. But you're going to meet people, and you're going to start seeing the same faces, and that is how you sort of build a creative community around yourself. And then you get involved with those people in collaboration,
Yeah.
because it's really hard to do things by yourself. I can't do things by myself. I have incredible producers that work with me and help me actualize, really low level demos to like something that they have made amazing.
Yeah.
And so you need people around you to help you bring your visions to life, whether you're, in whatever artistic discipline you're pursuing. So I would just suggest like installing yourself in an artistic community in a city nearby you.
Yeah. Love that. Love that. You have any upcoming shows, anything that you would like to share that's coming up?
Um, yeah, well, I'm working on organizing a showcase for songwriters at Club TG. It's a place in Los Angeles, an awesome venue and bar. Um, and I'm starting like an artist collective called Cerulean Sound.
Nice.
And I have a lot of musician friends here who don't have representation, who are just unbelievable in their talent level. And I just want to gather them all together and throw a showcase every month or something in different venues around LA. And
Nice.
I'm gonna play there too. And because I represent my own music and don't have a label either. So I figure that it would be a really cool experience to like bring out a large group of audience members from different demographics and
Yeah.
backgrounds. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's gonna be really, really fun. And you meet a lot of people for sure. That's
Yeah, I'm
kind
looking forward to it.
of well, congrats on that. Oh, and where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, on social media, I'm just at Hannah Tell, just my first and last name. And I don't know if I need to spell it, but
Um, well, if you want, totally up to you.
all right. Yeah, it's Hannah Tell, and then same for Twitter. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
or X.
Awesome.
Sorry, rather, it's now called X.
X. Oh yeah, I know, right? I don't understand the point of X anymore. Like I was on Twitter for a bit and I just was like, I don't think I have anything to say.
Say ever, except like sign this petition, or like here's my record.
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much for coming on. It was a pleasure talking to you. You
Yeah,
gotta definitely come on in the future.
I love that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks so much.